Happy Sunday, guys, and welcome to the first Sunday Scoop. Um, so today we are going to talk about positive thinking. Um, is positive thinking just a bunch of crap? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this, right? Or is there some truth to it? We hear about positive thinking all the time, right? I mean, God, just Google it and you'll have memes to last you a year. But a lot of people call bullshit on this, right? Positive thinking, think positively. A lot of people have, this idea that if you think positively all the time, well, it's going to alter the world around you, right? And a lot of people are also of the opinion that, positive thinking is a bunch of crap because you're just kind of denying all that, all that negative crap. You're just kind of denying reality. You're denying your emotions, your feelings. So this is what I want to talk about today. Is positive thinking just a bunch of crap? So when you pop on, let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's have conversations about this, okay? So for those of you that know me, I'm not going to give you a simple answer. But this is a great question that comes up all the time. And I mean, there's some good truth to either camps, right? And there's some, especially the people that say positive thinking is a bunch of crap because you're just denying your emotions, you're denying your feelings, you're denying the situation. Like, how's that helping anything? If you're, if you're in a really shitty situation and you're trying to positive think your way out of it, how's that actually helping you, right? So there's a lot of truth in this. So I tend to agree with both camps, actually. So the thing is, yes, positive thinking can dramatically change your life, but not right away, because there's things that we need to do first, right? You can't just, snap your fingers and magic away, all the heavy emotions that you're feeling. Maybe you're in a really rough situation, and, think positively isn't going to change the situation that you're in, right? And the reason for that is well, the mind, really. The mind gets in our way, okay? Ego gets in our way. And, for those of us who have, really dived into, shadow work and everything, you can't really positive think your way out of that, right? So the thing about it is you can't just expect, oh, I'm going to think positively and, my situation is going to turn around. Maybe you're in an abusive relationship. I mean, positive thinking is not going to change your situation. There are other things that we need to take into consideration, just like anything. And the world that we live in, guys, is 50% visible, so the physical stuff, and 50% invisible, the non-physical stuff. The emotions, the energy, our thoughts, our feelings, that and a whole lot more encompass the non-physical part of our world. I have a cat pawing at the bedroom door. My daughter's having her birthday party, so I've sequestered myself into the bedroom, and I've locked a cat inside with me, otherwise he will be eating the chips and dip. So where was I going on this? Right, if we're in a really tough situation, or maybe not just in, kind of in any situation, right? And let's focus on shadow work for a sec, because this is a really popular topic. A big part of a lot of stuff that we hear online and read in books is, part of enlightenment, part of awakening is doing this shadow work, kind of diving deep down into our psyche, into our emotions, and really like pulling those skeletons out of our closet and being like, oh, you're really ugly, but let's figure out where you came from, right? That's essentially the definition of shadow work. And when we're in these like really heavy places, we can't, first of all, we can't expect positive thinking to just, snap us out of it. That's not really realistic. Okay? Because there's a reason for, shadow work. Okay? And the reason for shadow work is to like peel back the layers that we've built around ourselves, like break down the walls that we've built around ourselves to discover our true selves. Okay? And I mean, I don't know how your experiences have been with diving into the deep and ugly of shadow work, but it can get really heavy at times. And some stuff that you dig up or that pops out can really be heavy for like days and weeks and sometimes months. Okay. Um, and that's really difficult to navigate. And when we hear all this stuff about, positive thinking, well, first of all, maybe it pisses us off a bit. And maybe it's just not possible for us, right? Or maybe we feel like we're doing it wrong, right? So many times we're like, oh, we're doing this wrong. Like, am I doing too much shadow work? Am I doing not enough? Should I think positively more? Am I too negative of a person? So all these thoughts are actually from your ego, okay? And an ego gets in our way a lot, way more than we even think. Way more than we even think. That was a super bad pun. Sorry, guys. But appropriate. What do you guys think? So when you pop on, guys, just make sure to say hi, okay? And yeah, so let's get back to positive thinking. And when it doesn't work, when we're in those really funky moods, when we're doing shadow work, when we're just really frustrated with life, when we're in, those darker moments, maybe we're really busy in life, right? Because we're not only, individuals going through this, awakening journey, we are also moms in charge of little kids. Maybe we're married, maybe we have a boyfriend, maybe we're engaged, all these things, right? So it's just like all these extra roles that we have. So sometimes it's really hard to get on the positive thinking train. Okay. So what we need to do first. Well, actually, first let me talk about when positive thinking actually does work. Okay. And then let's bridge the gap afterwards. So positive thinking does work. Okay, I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but again, I disagree and agree. Okay, because it depends on the situation. It depends on where you're at in your journey. It depends on your mindset. Okay, so positive thinking, yes, does work, and it is an incredibly important tool when we are trying to wake up out of this reality, when we're trying to reach enlightenment, when we're trying to find our true selves. Positive thinking is incredibly important, especially those of you who study the law of attraction. So drop in the comments if this is a topic that interests you, okay? What have you heard about the law of attraction or manifesting, it's called sometimes. Okay, where are you guys at with this? Have you even heard of it? And those of you that may be more advanced in the law of attraction, I'm sure you'll agree with me that positive thinking is a super important tool in your pocket. Okay. And so yes, positive thinking does work because we don't want to stay in those funky emotions. Okay. We don't want to stay in sadness or anger or frustration very long. Okay. Because with those, what I call like those heavier emotions, Again, anger, sadness, frustration, doubt, all those heavier emotions, it actually brings us down in vibration. Okay, it drops us into a lower frequency. Okay, and this is normal. I mean, this happens every day. We're shifted. Maybe we wake up in the morning and we're in a really good spot, and then we drop down a little, and then we go up during the day, and then we go down. That is completely normal, and natural. Okay, again, we are walking around in human bodies here, guys. Okay, which comes with, well, it just comes with being a human, right? Emotions, thoughts, all this stuff. And, but yeah, so at a certain point in our journey, we realize that we can choose the frequency that we're in. We can choose the emotion that we're in. We don't need to sit in, in anxiety. We don't need to sit in sadness all day, all week, all month. Okay, because again, this drops us in frequency. And it feels heavy, right? Maybe you get more sick. Maybe you don't, maybe you don't stick to your routine as much. Maybe you don't stick to your workout routine. Maybe you don't eat or drink as healthily as you would if you were feeling really good. So yes, in those instances, positive thinking is not a load of crap. Positive thinking is a great tool. So now that I have confused you all because I've agreed on both, but I mean, we have to take it into consideration, the situation that the individual person is in. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think of positive thinking? What's been your experience with it? And so how do we bridge this gap, right? How do we go from, I disagree with it, this does not work, positive thinking is just it's just ignoring the situation, to, I'm going to choose to feel better. I'm going to choose the better feeling emotion. Well, part of that bridge is all the mindset work. Mindset work is huge in your spiritual journey. And unfortunately, a lot of spiritual teachers and a lot of coaches out there, a lot of mentors do not focus on the mindset part. Okay? Which is really too bad, because again, this is like, this is the part that they missed out on, The Secret. How many of you have read The Secret, right? So that's what I'm talking about with the law of attraction and everything. And if some of you follow Abraham Hicks, you'll know what I mean by mindset. I mean, there's a lot of great mindset teachers out there. Don't get me wrong. But it's not as talked about. It's not as popular as the other stuff. And because, well, it's not popular because it's kind of hard to pinpoint, especially if you don't have support, right? Especially if you don't have outside support with like a coach or a mentor or something. So what is mindset? Well, mindset is the way you view your life. You live your life in your mind. It is your thoughts. It's your emotions. Okay? And it's recognizing those thoughts and those emotions. So a way to, again, how we're going to bridge that gap is to recognize when we, what thoughts are holding us back. What are the blocks? Maybe we have a really hard time getting from those, those heavier emotions, like fear and uncertainty. How do we get from that into joy, right? How do we make that leap? Well, there's steps to it, right? And those steps comes from everything that you're thinking in here. Okay? So the thing with ego is for most people on this planet, ego is in charge like 95% of the time. It is in the driver's seat. It is in charge of your body. It's in charge of your thoughts. It's in charge of your mind. It's in charge of your emotions. It is running the show. And that is what we need to change. We need to get ego way back here in the driver's seat. Or not in the driver's seat. Back seat. Cargo area. Okay? Because what happens when ego is in the driver's seat? What is ego? Ego is ego is a part of our mind. It's a part of our brain function. And it's there for a very great reason. Well, for many great reasons. But primarily, it's there as a survival mechanism. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you have heard about like fight, flight, or freeze, you know, when you're like in a dangerous situation, or a scary situation or whatever. Fight, flight, freeze. So this goes back thousands of years, guys, like tens of thousands of years, when, you know, we lived in caves, we lived in huts, we were outside, there were predators, you know, we were at the mercy of the weather and storms, and maybe neighboring tribes that maybe we weren't on the best terms with. This is why we have ego, to protect us. Okay, to be like, ooh, should I go down? You know, should I be going down this trail? Because, you know, I saw, I don't know, maybe you saw like hog spore or something, you know, hog poop on the trail. And then your ego is going to be like, oh, no, that looks scary. Let's take this other path. That is why originally we have ego. But fast forward to 2021. I mean, most of us are not living in mud huts or caves. We are blessed to have modern transportation, to have modern clothing. Most of us are blessed enough not to worry about food. There's grocery stores, there's delivery services, we have homes, we have permanent shelters, we have central air, we have central heating, we have running water, we have indoor plumbing. Okay, we are spoiled here. So there's not much realistically for ego to worry about, for us to worry about, because we live in very, very safe environments. We live in a very safe world. So what happens with ego? I mean, ego's sitting up here, bored out of its freaking mind. Pun totally intended on that. Ego's bored. So it starts making shit up. You know, you pick up, you turn the TV on and there's the news. Or you get in your car, you turn on the radio, there's a commercial that pops on that really worries you. Especially the news, man. Just, if you listen to the news, please do yourself a favor and stop. I'm a big supporter of not watching the news, okay? So now you're listening to this news report, and then you start thinking, oh my goodness. They're saying this and this and this is happening. Well, I gotta do that and that and that. Otherwise, this is gonna happen, and this, and you start worrying. Because that's ego's job. Ego's there to protect you. But there's nothing much to protect you from, because it's 2021 and we live in all these, modern day conveniences. So ego will grab onto anything to make you worry about it. Okay? And it does this all the time now. We are at a point in human history where ego is like running the show for most human beings. Okay, even those of us that feel that we're awakened or enlightened, we still have ego, man. Especially if you're hitting those blocks, especially if, you're scared, or you have like a them versus us mentality. That's your ego running the show, sorry to say. But there's a way to rein ego in, okay? And that all starts with your mindset. And not positive thinking, okay? Because a lot of people think mindset is positive thinking, and that is not that. Mindset is recognizing, and if you guys have a piece of paper, write this down, okay? Mindset is recognizing your thoughts. Mindset is recognizing your emotions. And mindset is recognizing that you have a choice in those thoughts and those emotions. Okay? You don't have to feel, scared. You don't have to feel depressed. You don't have to feel all these heavier emotions. Okay? We do have a choice. And it's really hard to see that choice when ego is running the show, when ego is essentially driving this human vehicle around, okay, this human body around. It's really difficult to see that because, again, ego's in charge up here. Ego's like, nah, whatever, not saying, it's a bunch of bullshit. Don't listen to her, right? Or, what do you mean? I don't have a choice in how I feel. Well, yes, you do. But we just gotta get ego out of the driver's seat for even once a day. Even once a day. It's gonna make a huge difference, guys. Okay? So how do we do this? How can we, metaphorically just plunk ego in, stick her way back out there, right? By recognizing what our thoughts are. Not every single thought, especially not at the beginning, but kind of like, like even just once an hour. Stop once an hour and be like, put an alarm on your phone or something, and be like, oh, what am I thinking right now? Maybe you're like, oh crap, the kitchen sink is full of dishes. Or, oh my God, I didn't meditate today. Start keeping track of what your thoughts are, every hour, okay? Every couple of hours. You're gonna start to see a pattern in what you're thinking, okay? And then you're gonna see, especially when you write them down, okay? Like journal them down. Eventually, you're gonna start seeing a link between your thoughts and the emotions that you're feeling. You're going to start seeing a link between your thoughts and the vibration, the frequency that you feel inside your body. Okay? That is what mindset work is. Okay? Well, that's a part of it anyways. Recognizing your thoughts and your emotions. Okay? And once you do this more and more often, it's going to start to become a habit because now you are starting to train yourself to catch that thought. Be like, oh, every time I walk into the kitchen, I always look at the sink and be like, for crap's sakes, it's full of dishes again. Like, well, that's a thought. Just being aware of that thought is huge because when you see that thought, when you are aware of that thought, you bring your light, you shine your light on that thought, and that thought loses its power. It's not going to feel so intense. You're not going to be so frustrated. You're not going to be so angry. You're not going to be so upset. Okay? So when we start recognizing these thoughts, when we catch ourselves having a thought, right? And a really powerful thing about this exercise too, guys, about, being aware of our thoughts is when you're aware of, oh, I'm thinking, holy crap, the dishes are always piled up on the counter. When you catch yourself in that thought, be like, oh, I'm thinking that. Well, then you are separating yourself from that thought. You're giving space between you, like your true self, and that thought. Because you are not that thought. You are the being, you are the spirit that is recognizing that thought. And that is incredibly powerful. That is probably the most powerful tool in your awakening tool belt. So, again, so that's kind of mindset in a nutshell. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but I won't get into that today. But that is mindset in a nutshell. So when I asked you that question, is positive thinking a bunch of crap? Do you agree or disagree with that? Well, you can be both. I agree and disagree with that statement. Sometimes positive thinking is a bunch of crap because maybe you're, you can't force, well, you can force positive thinking, but it's not going to do you much good if you still feel shitty, if you still feel frustrated, if you still feel those heavier emotions, okay? Because first you have to recognize that emotion that you're in. Be like, oh, I feel really sad today. Okay, well, there you go. You like took a highlighter and you just highlighted what you are feeling. And again, that's equally as powerful as catching that thought. Be like, oh, I feel sad. Okay, well, you are not sadness. You feel sad. Okay, you feel it in your body, right? Where do you guys feel sadness? I mean, apart from the tears, sometimes we get headaches, right? It feels really heavy in our chest. You know, even our going up into our shoulders. Okay? So you can feel an emotion. You recognize that I feel sad. Okay. I feel sad. This is what sadness feels in my body. There's nothing wrong with that. When you pinpoint that, when you even say that to yourself, either out loud or, quietly to yourself in your thoughts, again, it's going to take that power away from that emotion. You're not going to feel it as intensely. And you're shining your light on that emotion. And the more and more you do this, the more you shine your light on your emotions and on your thoughts. It's 3:33, by the way. Drop me a heart if you love numerology. The more you shine your light on your emotions and your thoughts, the less intense they're going to be. And the brighter your internal light is going to shine, the more your true self is going to shine out in your life, okay? You're going to start feeling different. You're going to start feeling lighter. You're going to be able to hit those higher frequencies, those higher vibrations a lot easier, okay? It's going to be a smoother transition. It's not going to feel like an uphill battle. And that's when positive thinking works, right? When you're really when you really start, you're getting into the habit of catching your thoughts and catching those emotions. You're like, oh, I feel sad. Do I want to feel sad right now? Or do I want to feel calm? Right? That's when positive thinking works. But no, you can't. I mean, if you're in a really shitty situation, if you're in an abusive relationship, or if you're a really crummy job, it's really stressful there, positive thinking will only do so much. Because positive thinking is not meant to deny the situation that you're in. It's to recognize the situation that you're in. Ooh, that's good. Write that down. Positive thinking isn't about denying your emotions or denying the situation that you're in. It's about recognizing it. It's about being aware of it. Okay? It's about bringing your light into it. That's what positive thinking is about. And that is a great note to end this broadcast on. So if this spoke to you guys, drop me some hearts, like the actual broadcast, because this helps me, figure out again what topics you guys are interested in. And private message me if you have specific questions or if there's a topic you want me to delve in on. Okay. So let me know. First of all, where are my numerology fans? Because I did another video earlier and it was 222. And let me know who are my law of attraction fans, okay? And do you struggle with mindset? Okay, again, drop it in the comments, private message me. And, I'm very happy to keep stuff anonymous. That is completely fine. We are here to support each other, okay, guys? This is a safe community that I want to build. And if you know any moms who would really, get a lot out of this group, invite them in, okay? Just make sure that they answer all the questions. I think there's only 2, okay? But yeah, so let me know. Do you think positive thinking is a bunch of crap? Did you think yes or no at the beginning of this broadcast? And what about now, right? What's your opinion now? I'd love to hear it. Okay, I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday and the rest of your week, your rest of your weekend. And I'm going to be going live in this group every Sunday for Sunday Scoops. If there's any topics or anything, or have any positive news stories too. I know there's a whole bunch of crappy news out there. Let's brighten up the internet with our positive news, okay? So if you have any ideas or fun articles for me to read, again, just private message me, okay, guys? I love you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.